The surprise songs are an extremely important event in the Taylor Swift canon and lore.
I thought we were in silent agreement that didn't happen.
Okay,
that
so
didn't
you
happen.
just are not remembering
No,
that.
no, no,
Well, it's
no,
going to come
that
up today, Miss
didn't
Girl.
happen.
That is the game of roulette that you play
Yep.
at the Eras Tour. You could go in and come out the happiest person in the world, or you could be the victim of a drive-by shooting.
I would have been screaming, clapping, crying, cheering, farting, everything. I would have been doing the whole thing.
Welcome back to The Evolution of a Snake. I'm Zach.
And I'm Madeline.
And this is the Taylor Swift podcast, where we take an analytical look to the life and times of Taylor Swift, a musically proficient cobra. And today we are going to be talking about the surprise songs from the European version of the Eras Tour. Madeline, what did you think overall of the European Eras Tour?
Well, when I first started going over the list, I was kind of gaggarinoed by how few overall nights, were truly not desirable. There was always a little something, I think, on almost all of the nights. I would say 90% of the nights, there was almost always a little something to make even the worst, surprise song mashup worth it. There was one night where there was no
It couldn't be saved.
But we'll get into that later.
I was just about to say that, most of the terrible stuff that happened truly, coincidentally, happened in the city that we were in.
Isn't it funny how it works?
Isn't it interesting how that happens? Well, the surprise songs are an extremely important event in the Taylor Swift canon and lore. They started around, I would say, the Red Tour, specifically for her own songs, but on the Speak Now Tour, she was doing covers, where she reaches back through the catalog and plays us a surprise song every single night. And with the Eras Tour, of course, it has evolved from being just one song to two songs, and then also multiple songs as she introduced the mashups. So Madeline, how do you feel about the surprise songs, the mashups in general?
So the surprise songs in general, I mean, Bellissimo, Brava, never been done before, incredible, probably one of my favorite parts of the show. It just makes every single show, no matter what show you're going to, feel special and feel like, oh, I had something completely individual happen at my show. It's a very easy way for her to make people feel like they had something that is just between her and them, even if it's a crowd full of 75,000 people. So I love the surprise songs, absolutely love. As for the mashups, I've always been kind of on the fence about them. I really didn't like them when she first started doing them. I felt like a lot of the mashups she was doing, it was you would have one diva and then there would be a flop that would come in and ruin the diva of the century. In general, I'm not a mashup lover. I'm just, I know she's a mashup girl. She's been doing it since Fearless Tour, but it's not my favorite. However, sometimes when the gag gags, the gag really gags. When she's cooking, it's hot in that kitchen. It is
the element of surprise is really fun, and I think is something that is really missing from live shows for a tour that you see so much on social media. This is a really good way to keep a live event feeling live and unique. One's never been done before, although she has been known to repeat some of her favorite mashups many times. But the issue with having a diva ruined by a flop is that can really sour your memory. So I had, it can go one way or the other. In Singapore, I got pretty lucky, I would say. I had some of the best mashups of the entire tour. But 15, you're on your own kid. I was on the floor sobbing my eyes out. Mirrorball and Epiphany, I wasn't clapping. I wasn't clapping. I love Mirrorball, but Epiphany is, to me, so bad that it sullied the joy of getting Mirrorball even to begin with. But that is the game of roulette that you play at the Eras Tour. You could go in and come out the happiest person in the world, or you could be the victim of a drive-by shooting.
You could be. And I don't think, luckily, I've only been a true victim once. And I'm lucky to say that. If I was only going to one show and this was my one show, the show that I'm talking about, which we'll get into later, I would immediately be buying another ticket to another show. I'd be like, no, that can't be it. That can't be it. That just can't be it.
That was we thought that it couldn't get worse than Chicago Night 2, which is where we got You All Over Me and I Don't Want to Live Forever.
Listen, I'd take that any day. I'd take it any day.
We were
We were
Wrong.
wrong.
We were
We were wrong.
wrong. We were robbed.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to rank the top 10 best shows based on like the night. So that was actually harder than doing it by individual songs, because you sometimes, as you said, Madeline, one side lets the team down. Sometimes you get a diva mashup and a flop mashup. So we're going to rank them by nights, best and worst. And then we also have picked our 10 favorite surprise song mashups. And as a little fun bonus, we're going to try and guess the top 3 of each other's mashup songs. So I'll start. Madeline, I felt like this was actually very, very easy. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I won't be. So I think number 1, you have Sweet Nothing and Hoax.
Are you kidding?
Oh, did you make that your worst because you didn't get it?
No, Zach, I was on the ledge. There was a gun in my mouth.
Well, I would have thought that was everything to you.
No. Oh, no. No, that didn't happen. I thought we were in silent agreement that didn't happen.
Okay,
that
so
didn't
you
happen.
just are not remembering that. Well, it's going to come up today, Miss Girl.
That didn't happen. No, that wasn't real.
So it's not your favorite mashup? Have you ever listened to it?
No, Zach, that didn't happen. How much clearer can I be? That was not real. That didn't happen. I don't remember
if
that.
You're not
That's not my
familiar,
reality.
Sweet Nothing and Hoax are 2 of Madeline's favorite songs, and she specifically wanted a mashup of them together, and she unfortunately was not in attendance.
But this is all cement. It didn't happen, so
it wasn't real. So
it wasn't real. This is all irrelevant.
If it was real, I was there and I heard it and it was amazing. But I wasn't there. It wasn't real, etc., etc. So I guess wrong. How about I Hate It Here in the Lakes?
Oh, you got that one. You got that
thank
one.
God.
Very
Jesus
true.
Christ.
With
And then I had Dear John and Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, because
Yes.
those are 2 of your favorite songs of all time.
Well, precisely, yes. Do you want me to tell you what my actual top 3 were, or we'll just get to that?
Give me your top 3.
So let's see. My top 3. I Hate It Here.
Give me them all,
number
actually.
1. No, okay,
Yeah,
well, let's do them all. Number 1, I Hate It Here and the Lakes. Duh. Number 2, Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, and Dear John on piano. Change lives. Not everybody could do it. My number 3 will shock and gag the masses, but it's my truth. I would have given anything to have been there. The Ed Sheeran mega mashup. Yeah. I would have given anything. I'm not kidding.
You are gagging me.
I'm a sympathetic. I'm sentimental.
You're a swearing.
I would have really liked to have been there. I would have.
She's a swearing.
I would have been weeping. I would have been. I'm not like a Ed Sheeran stanny by any stretch of the imagination. Anybody who knows me knows that. But I really love their friendship, and I love
You're
Endgame.
a friendship
Endgame is
stanny.
one of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh, I forgot about Endgame.
There's also some lore associated with my wedding. I got married on the 4th of July after a thunderstorm.
Mistakes and making choices, it's hard to deny. Something was born on the 4th of July. The words on the tip of my tongue, I'll never say. You don't want to see, I don't want to miss you. Like the other girls do.
So do the math. Do the math. I would have killed to have been there. Seriously. That is one of my... I can't even talk about it. Number 4, well, I had to throw us a bone. The Black Dog Maroon, Come Back Be Here. Yeah,
well,
we were
yes.
there. We were there.
Course.
And mostly it's because I wanted the Black Dog so bad that
and you got it.
And I got it. So I have to throw a bone to that one. Number 5, this one is off. I forgot that this happened, but when I saw it, I almost peed my pants. Fresh Out the Slammer and High Infidelity.
Oh, yes.
Gagged.
That is designed for you.
Gagged. She also messes up the lyrics. I watched it today. Flintered, blackened, splinter, silent, pinner. I was like, yes! I love it when she messes up.
Where she mashed it up completely, or did she interpolate high? Like, did she do it all and then add in High Infidelity like she did with the Black Dog, or did she like mix it up?
It was like she did all of Fresh Out the Slammer. Luckily, Fresh Out the Slammer is a little bit shorter. And then all of a sudden, she was saying, do you really want to know where I was April 29th? And I did.
Yes.
Dying to know. And
we're
now,
still asking.
We're still asking. So I love that one. Number 6, It's Nice to Have a Friend, Dorothea. Although, vocally, I don't like to roast her because this is like after so much of the show. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't want to cook too hard. But like, we were a little... The tuning on the guitar was wrong, and she was trying to do the ooh, and it was just really, really rough. but nonetheless, I would have been clapping and cheering and throwing up. So I have to give it to her.
I
Number
would have been
7.
throwing up.
I know. Listen, not everybody feels the same way as I do, but that's my truth. It's my truth. Okay, number 7, the bull turning getaway car. Kind of a gag.
Oh,
really,
gag.
really a gag. Number 8, actually, this one might surprise you. Torture Poets Department and Now That We Don't Talk. It was just a very well executed mashup. I thought it was really good. I love when she says, "Who else is gonna know you now that we don't talk?" Answer the question.
Now that we don't talk, who's gonna love you like me? Now that we don't talk.
Answer the question.
The question.
And then my last 2, my number 9, The Great War and You're Losing Me. Mostly because of You're Losing Me, but I thought The Great War was a nice addendum. Like, it didn't ruin it. I thought they actually went well together. And then last, and this is also just because of one piece of it, Crazier and All of the Girls You Loved Before. If I got Crazier, I would never stop talking about it. That's like a holy grail surprise song. I don't care that All of the Girls is there. I really don't care. It's that good. And that's my 10. Crazier is everything.
Wow, I'm shocked. I am shocked, I have to say. I'm shocked.
I gag. No, I gag.
But that's what happens here. We're in Gag City.
All right, now let's do yours. Let me see if I gagged you.
Mine's so predictable. You're just going to know.
I was really, really scared because I was like, I actually think this is hard. So I actually wrote down 5 just in case I was wrong. So the first one I did, I Hate It Here in the Lakes.
That is my number 2. So you did a great job.
Okay, then I did I'm Gonna Get You Back in Dress.
That's my number 1. Congratulations.
Okay. Now this is when things started to go kind of kooky cuckoo. So there's 2 possibilities that I think could be like a solid number 3. The first is Mirabelle and Clara Bow. The second is Right Where You Left Me, and all you had to do was stay.
Mirabelle and Clara Bow is not even on the list, unfortunately. All you have to do is stay, and Right Where You Left Me is on my list, but it is in fact at number 5.
All right, I have one more, but I don't think it's on there. It's Torture Poets and
no,
Now That We Don't Talk. No, it's not on there.
But I thought about it.
What's your third one? What's your third one?
That was pretty good. Okay, so my first one is I'm Gonna Get You Back in Dress because I literally asked for that mashup. I'm pretty sure in my Tortured Poets reaction video. Like, I've been caping for that for a long time. And unfortunately, this is kind of like Hoax and Sweet Nothing that didn't happen. It just didn't happen. It didn't exist. It wasn't a real thing. Did I listen to it? Yes. Did it completely gag me to the moon and back? Well, yes. Number 2, I Hate It Here in the Lakes. Just so beautifully executed. Just the way that she did it was so Gorgina, full of feeling, and we have a HQ version of it.
Take me to the lakes where all the poets went to die, 'cause I don't belong. I'm beloved, neither do you. Those Windermere peaks look like a perfect place to cry. I'm sent off, but not without my muse. I hate it here, so I will go to secret gardens in my mind.
My number 3 is, and this shocked me, Guilty as Sin and Untouchable. That was everything to me.
Wow.
The lyric combination of the 2 together, they're both about wanting something that you can't have or that you shouldn't want to have. And, you know, Untouchable actually also has a very sexual, like, desire kind of pull behind it that I always found was interesting and slinky. So to have them together was iconic. Number 4, I have Today Was a Fairy Tale and I Think He Knows. That gagged me into a new dimension. And the way she does the bridge too. It just It's everything, I have to say. And I think He Knows has vocally is actually quite a demanding song for her. And I have to say, her Today Was a Fairy Tale, she's got that down on lock. She sounds amazing singing it. And it wasn't always that way. It wasn't always that way.
Well,
And then I have at, what is this? I guess number 5 or number 6? Yeah, Right Where You Left Me and All You Had to Do Was Stay. I didn't think it was executed the way that it should have been, but they're two of my favorite songs, so I simply must clap and cheer to have them both there together. Then I had Nothing New in Dear Reader because I loved the way it was done. Dear Reader on the piano, like we have been asking for that. Then I had Something That Didn't Happen, Sweet Nothing and Hoax, because I happen to have been
Invisible,
there in
didn't
attendance.
happen, wasn't there, etc., etc.
It wasn't. I'll tell you what it wasn't. It wasn't like an incredibly angry and powerful, sad mashup. It wasn't that.
She said the end is coming. Everyone's up to something. I found myself around your sweet nothings.
Then I put You're on Your Own, Kid in its entirety because I'm Hanhart. I'm Hanhart forever. That is the best song ever. And I put Last Kiss, Sad, Beautiful, Tragic because I was needing to hear that. And then I, of course, threw our divas a bone. Come Back, Be Here, The Black Dog, Maroon.
I mean, we have to cheer. We have to hand heart. We have to smile.
We have to cheer.
We have
Should
to.
we skip straight to like what the worst nights were?
Yeah, let's do that since we're already, we've been teasing it.
We're
this whole
already
time.
there.
So
We're
let's
already
just do bottom 10 nights. So how do you want to? Do you want to
Okay.
start from the bottom up, like go number 10 and then up? I think that's more.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that. Let's do that.
So
I had
I'll-
Amsterdam Night 3.
for at number
I
10,
actually, yes, I found it hard to actually pick worst nights because some of them
Me
it was
too.
like there was one terrible song and then
Yep.
one amazing song, so I couldn't
Yep.
pick it. But Amsterdam Night 3 was Sweeter Than Fiction and Holy Ground. I hate that mashup. I hate that. It doesn't make sense to me. Sweeter Than Fiction is like not, it's nothing. And Holy Ground deserves to be played either on its own or with an actual diva. So jail for that. Then it was Mary Song, So High School, and Everything Has Changed. And I really don't like 2 out of those 3 songs. So goodbye.
it's demented mashup anyway. It's demented.
It is.
But that the people were cheering, they were clapping. I understand, but as for me, I think I would have preferred something more mindful. Something more mindful.
Something more demure.
Yes.
Amsterdam had really good surprise songs other than This One Night. Everybody's got to
For-
have one.
For my number 10, now I'm on the same, like there really wasn't like, this is the bottom. I didn't hate this. If I was there, I probably would have smiled and clapped, but like, this is what I had to work with. Number 10, Stockholm Night 3, which the reason that I picked this is because of the mashup of Message in
I
a
know.
Bottle, How You
I
Get
knew
the
it.
Girl, New Romantics on guitar, but she did do Had It End on piano, which would have saved me. I would have been levitating.
Oh.
So it's like, it's really not that bad, and I would have been very, very happy I would have been over the moon, but I'm just like, I don't like that mashup. I would have been frowning a little bit.
The other Max Martin mashup would have been more of a diva to me. Say Don't Go, Welcome to New York, and Clean. But I question her with Welcome to New York whacked right in the middle of that. What the hell was she thinking? But we don't know. We literally don't know what she's thinking at any point in time. Also worth it to note that like we are being picky and critical for fun. We love all of the surprise songs. We're grateful for everything we
Right.
get except for one that will not be forgiven. And we were not grateful. We were not clapping and cheering.
No.
Okay. And that's because it happened to us and you can't take that away from us.
You can, unless you
I
were
wish you
there, you had
could.
no right.
wish you could take it away
I
from
would
us.
trade with you in a heartbeat. I don't even care who you are. I don't care what you got. I know it's better than what I got.
I would take any surprise song on this worst list over what we actually got.
Yep. Mhm.
Number 9, what did you put?
Madrid Night 1. Now, this is also not a horrible one, but there's just one ridiculous mashup that I can't abide. So she did Sparks Fly, and I put ICFH, and why can't I figure out what that acronym is?
I Can Fix Him.
I Can Fix Him. Okay, I Can Fix Him. Really, I can. On guitar, I find that it makes sense. I get it. It's an okay mashup, but it's not one that I would have been cheering and clapping for. The ridiculous one is I Look in People's Windows and Snow on the Beach. I said, no,
I'm
thank
silent.
you. I really don't
silent
like
about
that.
I don't-
But she
you know
did
what?
do,
I don't mind it. I haven't heard it. That one I haven't
Well-
heard, so I can't pass judgment.
at least it wasn't just like Snow on the Beach with some I Look in People's Windows. It was all of I Look in People's Windows, which I would have been, wah, and then
quite short
some
anyway.
of Snow on the Beach. Right. So it's like the perfect thing to mash up. But
Slay.
I
But
didn't
you know,
like it.
Well, I don't think it's Sparks playing I Can Fix Him. I don't like that. That would be the offender to me.
Sonically, and she has to like do something weird like on the tuning of her guitar, and whenever it's that and it sounds like wormholey, you know what I mean? It's like you were forcing it, my girl. And I get it.
Don't
Sometimes
force
you
it,
gotta.
diva.
Sometimes you have to, because we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. But
it must be so hard to come up with all of these like combinations.
Yeah, it must be really, really difficult. If I was her, I'd just pick 5 and start doing them. You never know which one it's going to be.
Yeah, and people would clap and cheer. If she did like 5 divas, I would be happy with that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I put for number 9 Hamburg, which was, I don't know which night this was, but Fresh Out the Slammer and You Are in Love. I hate that.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
I don't understand that at all.
Totally agree with
and
you.
The worst of all, Ivy and Call It What You Want. That is, who asked for that? And I listened to it, and you know what? It started out wrong. She went, ha! And then immediately went, oh, sorry, sometimes the wrong note comes out.
Sometimes you just don't hit the right note, do you?
Wrong road. Wrong
She's
road.
always doing
Start
that with
over.
Evermore
Scrap
songs in
it.
specific, they're like cursed. Evermore's cursed.
She can't
It's
get the
literally
first
like
note.
witchcraft. She did Gold Rush. Gold Rush is probably like one of her worst surprise song performances. And you'll notice, have we seen her since? Or has it been cast off? Oh,
I
did
got
you
it
really?
in Singapore. I got
Was it
Gold Rush
better?
and Sparks Fly.
Ooh,
It was
that's
better
a
because
good
she
one.
started with Sparks Fly and then went into Gold Rush. When she has to start with Gleaming, then it doesn't go well.
She's not ready for that.
I don't like a Gold Rush part, but it's the gleaming, twinkling. That's just not her. That's not her bag.
It doesn't work on. It's too much.
No, it doesn't sound good. So that was my number 9. What was your number 8?
Madrid Night 2. I was really coming down on Madrid. Oh my gosh, yes I was. So the first one is Our Song and Jump Then Fall on guitar. It's okay.
Don't mash up Our Song. Don't you dare.
But Jump
Leave
Then
her alone.
Fall, yeah, I'm not really feeling that. And then she just did King of My Heart on piano. There's nothing horrible about it, but it's like I would have been
There's no
like,
diva detected.
why are we just doing King of My Heart?
Mm.
Why just King of My Heart? It's an odd one to just not mash up, don't you find? Like, if
Yes,
we're
it's not
mashing
like
up.
a significant song. And also on the piano too, that would send me. As we all know, I'm a noted King of My Heart not enjoyer, so I would not enjoy that. My number 8 was Gelsenkirchen, which I can't believe is a real place. Congratulations, Gelsenkirchen. I think they kind of fared badly actually in the surprise songs when I was looking at it. I was like, I'd be pissed if I got either of these nights. So night 1, Speak Now and Hey Stephen. She loves Hey Stephen. She did it multiple times on the European tour. She did it once by itself, and I'm saying clap. But Speak Now and Hey Stephen together is a bit of a flop summit, I have to say. I don't really get that.
No.
And then it was This Is Me Trying and Labyrinth. And I'm also not clapping for that.
I wouldn't have clapped. I would have been still as a statue in that audience.
The only thing in that list of songs that really is a diva to me is Hey Stephen.
Oh yeah. Anything.
And I need it all.
Yeah, if you get like a Fearless song or a debut song, that was kind of like when we were in London, I was like, I really, really want a debut song. I don't even care which one it is. Give me Stay Beautiful. I don't care. I just want to say,
Give me Tied Together with a Smile.
Did it happen?
No.
No.
What do we get instead?
We'll talk about that later.
We'll get to it. What was your number 7?
Number 7, Milan, Night 1. Okay, and now this was The One and Wonderland on guitar. Now, why the hell are we doing that to The One? I'm asking you. I love Wonderland for the record, but that isn't clicking for me. I don't like that. That's not gripping me.
No,
and then
because The One is like wistful and longing, and Wonderland is like shocking and sad.
Well, we're going to Alice in Wonderland. We can't. The One is not taking us to Alice in Wonderland.
No,
I know
she's
what
a
she's
wood nymph.
thinking. I know what she's
She doesn't
thinking.
want to fall down the hole.
But she's wrong. And then for piano, she did I Almost Do, The Moment I Knew. Now, here's something about me. I'm kind of a The Moment I Knew denier. I don't hate it, but it's a song that, like, I would never spin it willingly. If it comes on, I'm not running to shut it off, but I'm not seeking it out. So I would probably be like, what? Huh?
The Moment I Knew is very verbose and it's a bit of a slow burn. It's like once it gets to the first chorus, you're ready to rock, but that first verse can really be a slog with those strings. Like it's like a funeral. It really is. And that's what she was talking about, basically.
She was. It was her
I
funeral.
put Liverpool Night 2, Carolina, and No Body, No Crime. Bathroom Break. I hate Carolina. I'm sorry. I just think it's a boring flop. And I have everyone in my TikTok comments going absolutely crazy for it. Everything has shooters. But Carolina is, I understand the mashup of Carolina and No Body, No Crime. That makes sense to me. But I don't know. I'm not a huge Carolina enjoyer.
I understand the mashup as well, but I also would not be smiling. I mean, but I speak for yourself. I was there that bright sunny day in Seattle when she brought the Haim sisters out. I
To do
lost
No Body,
my
No Crime.
marbles.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's a full
But
performance.
that's
But then,
not-
you know what? That was hard to do for me because the manuscript and read, I think, is actually, like, in theory, a really good mashup. But sonically, it just didn't really work.
I get you.
So that was not my vibe. What was your number 6?
So number 6 is actually Gelsenkirchen, Night 2, Speak Now, Hey Steven, and this is me trying Labyrinth. I also said no thank you. Absolutely not.
Not doing it.
I'm not doing that.
My number 6, and this may shock you, Edinburgh Night 1, where Madeline and I maybe almost went because Madeline got in the wrong queue for Ticketmaster.
I can't live it down, no matter what.
No, you won't. You never will. And we were so close. She was like, we're 1,000 people away.
I was
Great.
like, oh my God, we're going to get great
Edinburgh.
seats in Edinburgh.
So night 1 was would have, could have, should have, and I know places. I take umbrage with would have, could have, should have being mashed up,
I understand.
period.
Yeah.
If it's not being mashed up with Dear John, which it shouldn't be because that's evil, but if it's not being mashed up with that, then I really think we need to let her rock and give her her moment, because that song is a story that need not be interrupted by the likes of I Know Places, which has
Very
nothing to do with
strange.
what would have, could have, should have is about. I Know Places is about like something, you know, dying that you really don't want to die. You want to protect it. You want to keep it alive. And would have, could have, should have is about give me back my girlhood. It was mine first.
So explain that.
Heinous.
It was wrong. It was really wrong.
Then it was 'Tis the Damn Season and Daylight. And you know what? 'Tis the Damn Season is one of my favorite songs. So to mash it up with one of my least favorite songs is like truly evil. And what do those songs have to do with each other, Madeline? What
I
do
know
they
what
have
she was
to do?
thinking. I know what her corny was thinking. She was thinking darkness of winter, and then you step into the daylight and
Nope,
you let it go.
I don't like
That's
that.
what she was thinking. And
I
she's
want to
wrong.
freeze to death.
And she's wrong.
I want to be like
She's
that girl in
completely
Yellow
wrong.
Jackets. I want to freeze and get eaten in 'Tis the
Uh-huh.
Damn Season.
Yep,
I
exactly.
do not want Daylight.
Precisely.
What was your number 5?
My number 5, Stockholm Night 1. I Think He Knows and Gorgeous on guitar, and Peter on piano.
Okay, Peter almost got me for that, but I Think He Knows and Gorgeous.
Well, I Think
I
He
love it.
Knows on its own, I would have been screaming, clapping, crying, cheering, farting, everything. I would have been doing the whole thing. But Gorgeous, not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Those two together, they're kind of two sides of the same coin.
No, but the thing is that I Think He Knows is like, it's cute next to Gorgeous. She's a cute girl.
Okay, yes, Gorgeous Devour's cute.
So that's my tea.
I put Gelsenkirchen Night 2, and this was shocking to me. Paper Rings and Stay, Stay, Stay. I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm not interested. It's not in my skill set. I'm not interested in dealing with that. What was the real issue was It's Time to Go with Better Man. I can see what she's doing here. Better Man is about like really, finally trying to sever ties with someone, and It's Time to Go is about going. But you know what? I don't like that together. Better Man to me is another song that really shouldn't be touched unless it's being mashed up with like a real diva of its ilk. And It's Time to Go is a flop. Although I was listening to it the other day, I think it has gorgeous lyrics. It's just melodically a flop.
Let me tell you something, Buster.
That's on your favorites, isn't it?
Let me tell you something. No. It's not on my favorites, but Stay, Stay, Stay and Paper Rings was on my honorable mentions for my favorite songs.
Well, okay
I
then.
would have been cheering like a seal at feeding time. Oh, yes. I would have been one happy penguin to get my fish that day. Oh, yes,
Enjoy.
I would have.
I say congratulations, happy birthday.
I would have been so happy. But nonetheless.
What was your number 4?
Number 4, Liverpool Night 3. Or no, this
Ooh.
was No. This was Liverpool Night 2, excuse me. This was Carolina, No Body, No Crime.
Oh,
Manuscript,
yeah,
the
bad.
manuscript, and Red on piano, excuse me.
Bad.
Yeah, I'd rather do a lot of things.
Then do
I'd
that.
rather do a lot of things than do that.
But we wouldn't rather do that one thing that we're going to talk about.
Oh no.
Let's not forget.
Let's not forget.
That is
That's still
the
coming.
worst things
That's
ever
still
happen.
coming.
My number 4 was Edinburgh Night 3, which is It's Nice to Have a Friend and Dorothea. Those are two of my least favorite songs ever. So mashing them up together is like a punishment for me. Dorothea is probably like, I'm actually allergic to that song. I don't know what it is. Anytime it comes on, I scream, cry, and rush to turn it off. I don't want it. Haunted and Exile, I'm kind of like, how could you sour a diva like Haunted with Exile? Haunted is like emphatic. Exile is like, nah, 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 nah. Come on. Why are we doing that?
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Mm.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you loud and clear. I understand you.
And that's it. That's
I'm
my
here
tea.
to listen. I'm here to listen to your diatribe.
We're getting to the real worst of the worst.
We're getting to the real worst of the worst here. So number 3, are we at? Number
Mhm.
3. Number 3 is London Night 2. Castle's Crumbling with Haley. Haley being there is the gag, but it's the only gag that happened. So let's get that clear. And then
Let's jot that down.
thank you, Amy and Mean on guitar. I am so happy we weren't there. I said when I saw what the songs were,
We're at dinner and we were like marked
thank
safe.
God, because we can't be doing that.
No,
we could not have been
can't
doing
be
that.
doing
No,
that.
I can't
Certainly
be doing that.
not. But was it still better than? Yeah, it kind of was.
Yep, it still was.
Thank you, Amy and Mean. I think we would have idgeballed. It would have been like when we got I Want to Live Forever. We would have really laughed at that. I don't think we would have laughed at Castles Crumbling.
No,
Castles
I think it
Crumbling
would
wouldn't have been
like,
funny.
No, and that's not a joke.
Well, it's
This
because that
isn't
was
a joke,
already
this is my
so
life.
ruined for us anyway. Like, we loved Castles Crumbling, the idea, and then when we
Mhm.
found out what it actually was,
Well, you see, the thing is, we turned her into an idea of sorts. That's what we did. We certainly did, and let me tell you, we know how that turns out. So
we needed the vaults more.
Yep.
It was really, really bad.
Mhm.
My night 3 is Zurich, Closure, and A Perfectly Good Heart. Why the hell would you do that to me? Why would you do that? And then it was Robin and Never Grow Up. There's not a single song in here. Well, I like Never Grow Up, so I would be happy to have Never Grow Up. But let's do Never Grow Up with 15. Why are we doing Never Grow Up with Robin? That's a song which, by the way, I proudly have never listened all the way through. And I won't.
I proudly have never heard the whole thing. That's actually my number 2. My number 2 worst thing that could ever happen to me is that.
My number
I
2
would
was
have
Thank You,
been-
Amy and Mean. So we're like in the
We're
same.
like,
Our
yeah,
top
we're
3
in
is
the
the
same.
same.
Yeah, it's the same. And now, well,
I bet
Number
we have the
one.
same number 1.
I
What
bet
was
we
the
do.
worst possible surprise song anyone in the history of the world could ever get, Madeline?
a song that isn't even Taylor Swift's song, and it's called Us featuring Gracie Abrams. It's actually Gracie Abrams featuring Taylor Swift. Let's be clear about that. This is not Taylor Swift's song. This is not a Taylor Swift record. It was evil. It was pure evil, and she didn't even mess it up with anything. It was just like, here's a song that came out literally 2 days ago that nobody in this whole stadium knows the words to.
Including
let's
the
bring her
Gracie
out.
Abrams stand sobbing in the stands behind us. She didn't even know what was going on. Now, here's the tea about that. We heard earlier on in the show, Gracie's here. And Madeline and I looked at each other and we went, mm-mm. I think we
It
just
couldn't be.
decided in that moment that it wasn't going to be. But there were people behind us like loudly screaming, Gracie's here, Gracie's here, Gracie's here. And they didn't mention the idea of her coming out for a surprise song, but it did, in a horrible dream, flash before my eyes. And
I never thought she would do it.
I said, I don't care, because then Travis came out and we were having the time. The gag is we were having a really good time. We were
having
really
a really
having
good time. We were really rocking.
Fun night. When the surprise song came around, we were like, oh, I don't know how it gets better than this. It
Mhm.
doesn't. It doesn't get better than that. And I think had she done the second mashup first, it could have softened the blow, but nothing will compare to how we felt when she said, if you know the words to this, you're a real one. She never says stuff like that because everybody knows the words to her songs. So we were like,
I thought it was going to be debut. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh my God, it's happening. She's doing a debut song. She's doing a debut. She's doing Stay Beautiful. She's doing this. She's doing that. And what did we get?
she
Great.
started playing by herself. This is the worst part of it all as well, is that she dragged the entire thing out. She sings part of this flop song by herself, and then she goes, and Gracie Abrams here.
And then
there
she gets
is,
lifted up, and then we have to watch her walk all the way, and this, that, and the other thing.
looking like a Mycene doll.
No, it was torture. It was really
was
torture. And we
terrible.
were sitting, and not only
It
that, but we had the
and it
girls,
was like
which
9 minutes long.
yeah.
It was so long.
And like, honestly, I'm happy for them. They were having a really good time. They were really happy to see Gracie. That's great for them. But it was like, it was kind of like salt in the wound to be sitting there so unhappy. And they're like sobbing, like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. And it's like,
this was
you guys
not-
don't even know the words.
It wasn't even a common reaction. They were the only people
They
in our
were the
section that had any
only-
clue what was going on. It
Everybody
was
else was like,
cricket.
everybody sat down. I sat.
Yeah,
I've
people,
never in
everyone.
my
I sat
life,
down.
never in my life sat down during a surprise song. And I was like, I just can't abide this. And I sat down.
Well, it
and
was
I looked at
also
Mason.
going on for so long as well. At first, I was like, is she just going to do this by herself? Because if so, I'll be even more angry at her. But then she brought Gracie out, and I was like, fine. I mean, I don't care to see her, but she's there. Then we had Out of the Woods, Is It Over Now and Clean, which in theory is a complete and total diva, but I just wasn't able to receive it. I couldn't receive it.
No, and the other thing is that like it is a diva, but it's one that she's done before. So it was like, okay, so we got Gracie Abrams' reject song, and then we got a recycled mashup. You couldn't even come up with an original mashup.
Girls,
What's that about?
what's the point of this?
What's the point of that? Why would you do that?
It made no sense to me, and it hurt my feelings. And I'm not going to be quick to forgive her for that.
No, I'm not forgiving. I've never forgiven anybody for anything.
Sure the worst possible case scenario you could have at the Eras tour. Argue with the wall. The
It
wall
really
agrees,
is.
actually,
And you
with
know
me.
what? Imagine, let's just take Gracie Abrams out of the equation. Imagine it's somebody that you don't care for and that you have never cared for. And for some reason, Taylor Swift is featured on a song that came out 2 days ago. And that's
That
a
you
surprise song that
haven't
you
listened
get.
to.
That you have
Mhm.
not. I listened, to be fair, I listened to it once. And I said, okay,
I
that's
didn't listen
a song.
to it.
And the next
Have I
thing you know,
listened to
she's
it?
playing it on stage.
I heard it on stage, and once was enough. And did you see that song going number one? Did you see that song going number one?
Not
Is
even
it
Taylor could get
charting?
it there. Not even Taylor
Not
could get it there.
even Taylor. That should really tell you something.
Us.
Please stop. Please stop.
It's
Spare me,
literally
save
like,
me.
It's like triggering. It is.
Well, I think we need a palate cleanser, and we need to talk about the divas, the nights where we really should have been there, or we were there, but mostly it's nights that we should have been there. The 10th spot that I have actually was Paris Night 1, where she did Paris in full and LOML in full. And to be there on the opening night of Tortured Poets being added back into the set, to be in Paris, to hear a song called Paris, to hear LOML, you go from party, shaking your ass to I'm going to kill myself. And that's personally the vibe that I like to curate at a Taylor Swift concert.
No, it's literally the perfect vibe. It's the most perfect situation that you could possibly have. It really is.
What's your number 10?
My number 10 is Zurich Night 1. Right where you left me, and all I had to do was stay on guitar. Last Kiss and Sad Beautiful Tragic on piano. I would have taken that meal like a happy, happy prisoner. I would have.
But of
I'd be like,
course.
wow, this slop is so delicious today. Thank you.
That's in my top two.
Much. Yeah.
It's so good. It really is very good. Just an
Delicioso.
elite selection of songs. Really, really good songs to choose. Number 9, I had London Night 4. London Boy played all the way through with no mashup. I was dying. And the way you wanted the Black Dog was the way that I wanted London Boy. And unfortunately, fate did not turn in my favor. And then we had Dear John and Sad Beautiful Tragic. And I just, again, that's the exact same vibe. Shake and kill yourself.
And we need to start talking about that dichotomy more often. Where's that? Where's the juxtaposition? What happened to
You
juxtaposition?
can't have one without the other. You
Exactly.
can't.
You
It
can't.
doesn't work.
It does not work.
What did you have at number 9?
My number 9, Edinburgh Night 3, and It's Nice to Have a Friend, and Dorothea on guitar, and Haunted in Exile on piano. So
Enjoy.
I'm always happy to get a Speak Now song. So I would have been really happy with Haunted. Exile being there, I really thought I was gonna get it. I convinced myself I was getting Exile in Seattle. I don't know why. I was like, I know I'm getting Exile. And then of course it was sort of like Exile before there was Exile, with Everything Has Changed, so that's kind of ironic. But it's like I had already like accepted the possibility of Exile existing in my life, so I would be fine with that. Haunted in Exile, absolutely. And as we all know, It's Nice to Have a Friend, greatest song ever made. Dorothea, I would accept that, and it just makes sense as a perfect mashup.
You know
Some
that.
of us know that. No, the
I don't know
the
that.
people. I was there that day in class.
You have friends. I don't wish to have friends. So there will be no it's nice to have a friend for me.
Precisely.
My number 8 was actually our first night of London, which was Hits Different and Death by a Thousand Cuts, The Black Dog, Come Back, Be Here, and Maroon. And, you know, it's hard to describe the feeling in the air that evening. We've tried and we fail.
It really, and I hope everybody out there gets to experience a show like this once in their lives. It was, and it's not even just about the surprise songs. The surprise songs, I feel like
Before we were saying we're having the best night of our lives.
I just remember the 1989 set being like the most amazing thing that's ever happened to anybody in the history of ever.
It went crazy.
I am on Nirvana right now. Like, this is the most perfect any Taylor Swift show has ever been. The energy that she was giving was full and 100% servitude.
The crowd was giving it right back to her.
Oh, they were.
And we didn't have any annoying shriekers around us.
Nope, everybody was very mindful.
We only had respectful divas. We had someone wearing Wonderstruck in front of us, which was gorgeous. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That. And we got to hear Tortured Poets for the first time, and we lost our minds. I really lost my mind with Daddy, I Love Him. It was just everything that we could have ever wanted to be. We had the Super Bridge mashup, Hits Different, Death by a Thousand Cuts, and the way she gave Death by a Thousand Cuts everything it needed to be given. And that, to me, Death by a Thousand Cuts is a true surprise song diva. Like, in whatever iteration you get it, it's such a fun one to do because of the bridge. And then the Black Dog, we were clapping and cheering just for that. Then when Come Back Be Here came in, neither of us even really liked that song that much, but we were crying,
still like, but
screaming, London. And then Maroon, we were like, we've been blessed.
God, Maroon is where I started to like really start to short circuit. It was amazing.
It was only 2 lines, but those 2 lines changed the world forever. So
we were so lucky. We were so lucky.
Mouth kiss.
We love you. Beautiful. I loved it. So we on number 8. Number 8, Lisbon, Night 2, Torture Poets, and Now That We Don't Talk on guitar, You're on Your Own Kid, and Long Live on piano. Now that's diva.
That is a really good one.
Well, it's also fun. I think that was the first time she played Torture Poets. No, was it? Was it really?
Second time, I think.
Okay,
maybe.
Well, still.
I'm not sure.
So
Now That We Don't Talk is so good too. The 1989 vaults in general are great surprise songs to get.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree.
I think. What do you think about You're on Your Own Kid being mashed up with? What's your ideal mashup? Because it's been mashed up with 15, The Archer, and Long Live. I think 15 is the ideal.
That's what I was going to say. You're on Your Own Kid and 15 is probably the ideal You're on Your Own Kid mashup. I think ideally, like, since I haven't heard it live, I would like to hear it unmashed up. But I think 15 and You're on Your Own Kid is like a really emotional one that would put me on the brink. So let's do that one. But You're on Your Own Kid and Long Live is like a good second. A good second. I think it's the only surprise song that actually moved me to tears. Really?
Meanwhile, I'm not an easy crier. That one got me.
Chicago Night 1, The Lakes. It was over. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe
Well, you Marjorie every time. As soon as Marjorie came on, the autumn chilled, Madeline streaming. Tears every time. I didn't even blink an eye. I looked up. Madeline's crying again. Okay.
Another day, another dollar. Nothing new.
What are we on now? Number 7? Okay, so number 7, I have Milan, Night 2, Mr. Perfectly Fine, and Red. Like, when I heard of this mashup, I was like, whatever. Then I heard it, and I was like, oh, she's cooking. Have you noticed she gives Red her all anytime she performs
loves that song.
it?
She loves it. Where is it on the set?
Where is it? She puts her whole Redussy into it, and I'm kind of like, bring it back. Bring it back more often.
It's a great song.
On the guitar, too, elite. And Mr. Perfectly Fine, I really wanted that in Chicago so bad. I convinced, in fact, everyone in our section that we were getting Mr. Perfectly Fine.
She said, she was talking about, like, oh, my re-recordings, and this is on Fearless. And we're getting Mr. Perfectly Fine. And everyone was like, oh, yeah, woo. And then all of a sudden, Maren Morris.
A
and
Smurf enters the stage. We were like, okay, never mind. I didn't say that. And then Getaway Car and Out of the Woods, which I think also is just a great mashup. I always think about how Getaway Car is kind of a 1989 song, just production-wise. Like, it does sound like the bridge between 1989 and Reputation. So I'm a fan of that mashup.
I love it. Absolutely. I totally understand. Where are we at? Are we on number 7? Number 7.
Yep.
Okay, so this is Edinburgh Night 2, The Bolter and Getaway Car on guitar, Gag, Gorgina, and All the Girls You Loved Before and Crazier on piano.
All of the Girls You Loved Before. I don't know if I can
Listen,
forgive her for
I'll
that.
tell you something. Did I ever tell you about when Mason and I were in London? We were rocking. We were on one of our long walkabout days where we were walking everywhere and we were doing this, that, and the other thing. And we wound up behind like an Italian school tour. So they were teenagers. They were Italian. They were doing like Tower of London, being in school, this, that, and the other thing, whatever. And there were these Italian girls just singing All of the Girls You Loved Before the whole way. That is their favorite song. All of them knew all the words. That was their thing. And the reaction when she started doing All of the Girls You Loved Before was crazy on the show. People really like it. I think it's a teenage girl song.
It is. And it also came out like as a Lover bonus, and it did really well on streaming. But I was reading this, I think Discord Diva Tim was posting about the charts in the Discord, and Lover is like on its way to becoming one of her best selling albums. It's like outsold many of the other ones. Like it charts forever. Like it never dies. And I think a lot of that has to do with Cruel Summer and Lover, the song. But it's kind of incredible to me that like Lover
People
is
love it.
One of her most commercially successful records.
Well, I think it has a wide demographic. And like I said, I think teenage girls love it. And teenage girls will put anything at the top.
They rule the world.
If they love it, it's going up to number one.
Lover does kind of have something for everyone, I suppose.
Yes. Take it, Lover. It
has Cruel Summer, and that's all I need to tell you that it is one of the best albums of all time.
And that's on Period. And one of the things that I loved about the Crazier, All the Girls You Loved Before mashup is that she really, really thought people weren't going to know the words to Crazier. But she she stopped halfway through the song to be like, "Oh my god, I cannot believe how many of you know all the words to this song." And I was like,
"But of course we do. We've been crying and screaming for it." She also, but I don't like that this theme of launching songs that have never been played live before in mashups. That has got to stop. The Way I Loved You and Crazier. I mean, The Way I Loved You has been played live before, but not on the Eras tour. So why are we making her share the spotlight? For my number 6, I actually had The One in Wonderland, and I Almost Do in The Moment I Knew, because I kind of liked it.
Okay,
I'm an I Almost Do truther. That's one of my favorite Red songs, and I also really like The Moment I Knew. So I was clapping and cheering.
Well, take it away. I support it. Take it away. It's a Red mashup. I like it when she mashes up songs from the same record. There's something kind of, it kind of takes me back.
There's something silly, crazy, fun about that.
There is. My number 6, is it? Oh, my number 6 was our London Night 1. Hits different, Death by a Thousand Cuts. Listen, you had to be there.
You just had to be there. You won't get it. You might have been to the Eras tour, but you didn't go to London Night 1.
Right. And the other thing is that, like, it's so much fun. I will say, to Mashup's credit, even though they're not my favorite, it is so much fun when you're like rocking out with your out
waiting to see what's coming next.
And then all of a sudden she starts going, my head, my hips, my body, my legs. Like,
oh,
it's like it's very,
fun.
Very exciting. Yeah. So
it does put me in my grave. It really puts me in my grave.
And you know what? I have to give it up to London Night 1. This night was flawless. Don't you let it go. What do you want me to say?
I won't. You refuse to let it go.
Yep. I can't.
What are we at? We're at number 5 now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have Warsaw, Night 1, Today Was a Fairy Tale and I Think He Knows, and The Black Dog and Exile. I really would cut off one of my arms to have Today Was a Fairy Tale and I Think He Knows. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's everything that I ever wanted it to be and more. When I did my first listen of Lover, I Think He Knows was my number 1. I was like, that's my favorite song ever. And Cruel Summer was like number 3, if you can believe that. Well, oh, how the night changes.
The turntables.
But those two together, I mean, it's just silly girly. If you felt the magic in the air, you get it.
And if you didn't, you didn't. What can I say? That's on Period.
That's the way it is.
That's the way it is. Now, my number 5, London Night 4, the Ed Sheeran mega mashup, greatest thing that could have ever happened to anybody. And this was another instance in which she said "King of My Heart" on piano. Why is she doing that? She
just by itself?
to do that. Yeah.
On its own?
I mean, yeah, but that would have taken me to the next level, because we're getting Endgame and we're getting King of My Heart.
Yeah,
it's coded.
For you.
And it's me coded. So I have to give it up. Even though I think it's bizarre.
King of My Heart is just a funny one.
If we're
doing
the whole
that
thing
on the piano, because it's like, you move to me, I'm your like, it's kind of a rap almost.
Oh,
we want So It Goes on the piano. That's what we want.
Yeah, where's that? Let's talk about that. Nobody wants to So It Goes anymore. Nobody wants to come here dressed in black now anymore. I don't get it.
No, it doesn't make any sense. No one has scratches down their back, and I think that we really need to.
It's really disgusting.
Show the youth how to do it.
Yep.
My number 4 was Dublin, night 1, where I got State of Grace and You're on Your Own Kid. That was another one that You're on Your Own Kid got mashed up with. It was an interesting one. It sounded good, but I think the tie between them thematically is very tangential. So I wasn't fully convinced, but it was red and it was You're on Your Own Kid. So I was screaming. Then I got Sweet Nothing and Hoax. And we were in Ireland, Pebble,
That didn't happen.
Wicklow.
We've been over this. That's not
It didn't
real.
happen, but if it
But
did,
it
was.
didn't happen.
I
Wasn't
think she was
real.
also in Dublin she was in Ireland for the first time because all the time she spent in Ireland was with Joe before. So I had to think that it brought a lot of memories back to be back in Ireland. And you could tell that it was bringing memories back because she was pissed. And I love that. But it
In
didn't
your
happen,
imagination.
so.
In your imagination.
Exactly.
All right, what are we at? Number 3? Are we at?
Number 4.
3? No, number
Number
4.
4.
Amsterdam, night 2. I'm Gonna Get You Back, Dress on Guitar. I think that gags way too hard. It's such a good, clean mashup. I watched it today. I was like, this is just galaxy brain behavior. And she also did You Are in Love and Cowboy Like Me on piano. And I would have been seated more than I've ever sat down before in my life. I would have been completely glued. And
That was
Cowboy
surprisingly
Like Me,
good.
Oh, Gorgina on the piano. Gorgina on the piano. Absolutely gorgeous. I loved it.
That's my number 2.
Oh,
That night
is
is my
it?
number 2.
Well, exactly.
We're
We're linked. We're linked.
My number 3 is Amsterdam Night 1. Guilty as Sin and Untouchable. As I said, greatest question ever made. And then, at Freudian slip. Next, The Archer and Question. And I don't really understand mixing up The Archer and Question, but it sounded pretty good. And I think Question doesn't get played enough. So those are that would be a really surprisingly diva night to me. Like I wouldn't pick those as my songs, but when I heard them, I was like, oh my God, these are great.
I completely agree. I'm supporting you 100%. Are we
Christina?
on night 3? Night 3
Yeah.
for me.
We're on night 3.
Cardiff. I forgot that you existed, and this is why we can't have nice things on guitar. Listen, some of us. Some of us. I was there that bright and sunny day in Seattle, night 1, where she played "This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things," and I had the best night of my life. So I would take that away. Mostly, it's for "I Hate It Here in the Lakes" on piano. But I would, if I got that, it doesn't matter. But if we're getting a little "This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things," I'm screaming my head off. I would be so happy. Yeah.
My hatred for I Forgot That You Existed really blocked me from letting that into my top 10. But I Hate It Here and the Lakes really, I think, might be the best mashup ever.
It really is. And it's 6 minutes long. She does like a verse and a chorus and then a verse and a chorus. And she does the bridges mashed up together. It's Gorgina. It's like the perfect mashup.
She put some thought into that one.
She did. And to her, I say thank you.
I think the most perfect mashups are that one and Out of the Woods and Is It Over Now. Those two ones are really...
Oh my gosh.
And Question. When she brought Question in. Whoo!
Do you remember the first night she did it? That was the first mashup she did.
Is It Over Now? I remember.
I was on... wasn't that the night where she kissed Travis for the first time?
She said Karma is the guy on the screen. That's
Karma is the guy
Karma is the guy in the Chiefs. That was the night things changed.
That was the
you want
night
to talk
to
about
remember.
the night things changed?
This night is flawless.
It was. And I watched it on live.
I was there. I don't know what compelled me. I don't know why. I don't usually watch the surprise songs on live anymore.
Yeah, why?
I don't know why I was
did
there.
it too. Why did we think something special was coming? I think it might have been the first show after 1989 Vault.
Maybe. So we were like, oh, what's she going to do? What's she going to play? And baby, she played something special.
I was seated.
I was so mad because I think she did Endgame that night too, didn't she? Oh,
on the
now
piano.
We're bringing back my trauma.
She was saying, "I love Travis. I love Travis," and that's on period. Was that the first show that he went to? No, was it?
Was it? No, it couldn't have been.
I don't know.
I don't remember. This is not my business. This is somebody else's business. No, they know this information.
This is for the Tavis.
I'm here to smile and laugh and hand heart. I'm here to smile and laugh and hand heart. That's what I'm here to do.
So my number 2, as you know, is I'm Gonna Get You Back in Dress, Made for Me, Designed, You Are in Love, Cowboy Like Me. What was your number 2?
My number 2, London, Night 5. Dear John, Sad, Beautiful, Tragic on piano, and London Boy on guitar. That's a perfect night. That's a perfect night to be me. That's a perfect night to be me. Why wasn't that our London Night 3? I'm asking you genuinely.
Why wasn't that us? Why would you do that on the closing night of your first stretch of London shows? Why didn't you do that on night 2?
I'm asking you that.
Well, she was busy doing another flop summit on night 2.
Well, of course she
back,
was.
she was like, how many flops can I fit in one weekend? We're lucky that we went to London night 1.
Oh, we
Imagine
are.
if our 2 shows were night 2 and night 3.
Oh, we are.
Goodbye.
Let me tell you, goodbye. I would be gone
Goodbye.
so fast. She'd be
Bigger
missing
than the
me.
whole sky.
She'd be missing me. What's your number 1?
My number 1, weirdly, I put Right Where You Left Me and All You Had to Do Was Stay and Last Kiss and Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. But I think I want to swap those. Like, I want to have that my number 2, and I want to have I'm Gonna Get You Back and Dress my number 1.
Okay, we'll say that. We'll say that. I support it
Period.
completely. Did I say my number 2 yet? Yeah, I did. I said my number 2. You're going to be gagged when I know you. You could never guess in a million years what it is. But that's just because my truth is that I am not a mashup person. If I had it my way, there would never be a mashup. It would be 2 divas carrying me to the finish line. And my perfect night is Paris night 1. LOML on piano, Paris on guitar.
I knew you'd have it somewhere.
With a smile on my face the size of the Empire State Building. I would have been the happiest cat in the whole universe. That's my idea of a perfect night. Especially because it's Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
I mean, the occasion
so
of it all, it was everything.
Mm-hmm. Your ex-friend's sister met someone at a club and he kissed her. Turns out it was
you do
a
slam
guy
poetry
you
of
hooked up
that
with
song
ages ago. Well, it's perfect. It literally is perfect. It never gets old. I love it. I haven't listened to it in a long time, I'll be honest with you. But I know all the words. Doesn't matter. I would have been there in that crowd.
You were streaming.
Saying, Bonjour, Paris.
We were in Paris.
We were.
Where is the Eiffel Tower?
Paris.
Need it now, expeditiously. And LOML, I mean, that's a song that I would hate to see mashed up. Do not touch her.
No, it doesn't deserve to be mashed up.
Alone.
Mm-mm.
Get a job. Stay away from her.
Stay away from her. Figure out what we're doing because LOML is a single independent girly, and that's the way it's got to be.
Do we have to do 2 mashups? Really, is the question. Can we just do?
You know what?
1 solo song and 1 mashup. Those nights are really good.
Yeah, the beginning of the Europe tour when she was doing a mashup of older songs and then 1 Tortured Poet song on its own. That was the gag. What happened to that?
You know what was so weird in Paris when she just did Hey Stephen and Maroon. That was Hello, Maddie Healy. That was Hello, Maddie Healy. Hello.
I really was thinking, like, oh my gosh, the mashups are over. She's not going to do them anymore. And then she said, "Ha, you thought."
You thought. You thought. Some other notable mashups that I thought were interesting: The Prophecy and Long Story Short. You wish.
That's one that you want.
No, Taylor Swift wishes that was true.
Oh, okay. Well, say that. I think we should talk about it.
She's willing it into existence.
Yeah, she is, and I'm happy for her. And I'm gonna let her finish.
The Prophecy's really grown on me, to be honest.
I think that it's going to start to really click for me as we come into the autumnal season. I think that is going to take me away. I need to be World of Warcraft. Take me away. Take me away.
A sweet escape. Superstar and Invisible String. That was an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't have a comment about that. I can't.
I'm not drawing the connection. She also loves that Slut False God mashup. She's done it like a million times. I got the first iteration of it in Singapore, and it was just okay.
She thinks it's the best thing since sliced bread.
It's not a supermodel. It's not a supermodel, but she thinks that it is, and I'm going to give that to her. Here's a really perplexing one: The Last Great American Dynasty and a Run. What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
She cracks me up. I put down a couple of weird ones too. My boy only breaks his favorite toys. No, so I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. That doesn't happen. Do you know what I would have done if I was getting LOML and she started doing Don't You? I would have literally been like, that's it. I'm taking over because you can't be responsible anymore. It's over. I'm in charge. Everybody get off the stage. We're starting from scratch.
Period.
My boy only breaks his favorite toys and Coney Island.
Yeah, that one also was a huge question mark to me.
What's the matter with you? Is everything okay? Like
Suburban Legends and New Year's Day.
No, what? I cheered.
That's nonsense.
Tick tock on the clock that pace down your block. Some of us understood it. Some of us understood it.
Cricketa. I'm also really upset that we didn't get So Long London. I'm very upset about that.
I don't understand why she didn't just do it twice. She left London twice, so let's do So Long London twice.
Yeah, it's not fake news. It's true.
It's not fake news. It's true. You're literally saying So Long London both times.
It's
so
actually fake news to not do it.
That's what I've been saying. I think it was really wrong, and I think that we need to start pressing charges because I really wanted So Long London, and I think we should have gotten it. And I'm still confused.
And if we don't press charges, then who will? It's got to be
Exactly.
us. We're the
No,
only
she's running
ones that
amok.
can
She's
do
running
it.
amok.
How
She's
do
running
you
amok.
think, how do you think she decides the mashups, and how much lead time do you think she has for them? Do you think she plans them out like really far in advance?
I think that some of them she does. Like, she always knew she was going to play So Long London on on night 8 of London. Like, she always knew that. As for the mashups, I don't
You
know.
can kind of tell when they're rehearsed or not rehearsed.
Yeah, she thinks, and you can tell when she thinks she cooked. For example, Question in The Archer. Who could ever leave me, darling? It's just a question.
Who could ever leave me, darling? Who could say? It's just a question.
She thought she ate that. It doesn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense. I
It's
have
not
to
adding
say,
up. My
it doesn't
queen.
make any sense.
There's
It
so many
doesn't.
songs where you ask questions, and you chose that one. I'm asking you, for what?
But I think he knows into "Can you feel this magic in the air?" However, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Jen. So
Some of them are like,
Do you think she ever does them on the day of? I don't think so.
yeah. No, I think so.
Oh, you do?
Oh, there are some that I'm like, this lady. Remember the first time she played Snow on the Beach? That was shocking.
She learned her lesson, though.
That was shocking.
We haven't had anything as bad as that since. That was really, really bad.
She was like, we can't be doing that again.
She was like, oh no, I actually need to just at least do a once over with this. I think, yeah. I wonder if when she gets lazy, she just defaults to stuff she's already done before. Fair
Oh,
enough.
sure. Yeah. Oh, that's what I would do. I'm sure there are days where she's like, I can't be bothered to come up with something else. So I'm just going to say, is it over now? Clean, out of the woods. There you go. Take it
False
away.
god slut. You know what? A surprise song I think is really great that needs more attention and needs to be done again. I Don't Want to Live Forever and Dress. That's a really, really good mashup.
Well, where's the I Don't Want to Live Forever dress? I'm going to get you back mashup. I mean, let's talk about that.
Well, let's talk about it. Taylor Swift? I mean, they're all the same song in different tones.
Well, that's why we need it. That's why we want it the most.
We need
Well, where's
sexy? We need slinky. We need alluring.
Well, where's the Way I Loved You Daylight Red mashup? I've been talking about this for years, and nobody wants to listen to me. Nobody wants to hear the true pipeline. The pipeline.
Well, why don't you explain it?
Well, I've explained the pipeline a million times. The Way I Loved You. I miss screaming and fighting and kissing in the rain. Loving him is like driving a new Maserati down a dead-end street into daylight. And now I see daylight.
I'm not seeing the vision. I have to say,
Are
I
you
see the
kidding
vision
me?
from red
No,
to
we don't.
daylight. I don't see the rain connecting to the red and to the daylight.
Well, because what I'm talking about is she's saying, I long for this kind of relationship. No, The Way I Loved You is daylight is in the, are you understanding? He's the guy in the verses. He is sensible and so incredible. That's daylight. And then we go into I miss screaming and fighting and kissing in the rain. That's red. No, the people in the comments are going to understand me. You know what I'm talking about. The people in the comments have my back. They know. They know.
Swiftologists
This also
assemble.
goes back. No, I have a
Swiftologists
bone to
assemble.
pick. No,
Tell
I
Madeline that
have
she's
a bone
wrong.
to pick with you. I have a bone to pick with you on a personal level. You said that my idea for sister songs, August and Tim McGraw, didn't make any sense, and you're wrong. And I want the people to back me up on this one. August and Tim McGraw.
So what
Do
she's
the
talking
math.
about is we have a series called Sister Songs, and that just reminds me that we really need to get our asses into gear on doing that. But she said Tim McGraw in August, and I didn't understand. I cricketed. I don't get it.
Do the math.
I can't.
I was
came
right
up
there
with the
beside
wrong
him
answer.
all summer long.
Okay.
And then the
Question
time we woke
mark.
up to find that summer gone.
But
August
that's
slipped
it.
away into a moment in time. But it's about summer romances ending. Are they different? Well, sure. But that's what makes it interesting. I'm not understood. I'm misunderstood.
Could we
I'm
get a little hits different
misunderstood.
in there?
What are you talking about? Whose hits different?
Summer
Where- how-
romance. August
You're
hits
losing
different.
me.
Tim McGraw. Well, that's
See, this
because
is what
the
he does.
original conceit
He
doesn't make
start-
any sense.
You're losing me.
You've lost me.
You've lost me. You've completely lost me. This is why.
Well-
I feel like the sister songs is like the evolution of mistake version of mashups. Luckily, Taylor doesn't have to like run these by anybody because she can just.
We
do
have to
whatever.
agree.
We have to agree. And let me tell you, sometimes
It's hard.
Sometimes the chess pieces aren't matching up. He's not seeing my visions. He's not seeing
I'm
my
not.
visions.
I'm not. That's literally your own cross to bear. And I really wish you luck on your journey. Good luck. Oh, good luck with booking that stage you speak of. Really, is what I
Listen,
wish
I'll
to say to
start.
you.
I'll start doing sister songs. You know, Madeline's version, sister songs, Madeline's version, and then you'll see, and then they'll all see.
Suddenly, a new podcast pops up: the real evolution of a snake,
Madeline's version,
and it's
Yes.
just the red snake in the cover art. Well, we have to cheer. We have to clap
we have
and
to cheer. We absolutely have to cheer.
And thank you for tuning in. You guys should go and rate our show 5 stars on Spotify and Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. I forgot that we need to ask people to do that. So, like, do it.
I think we deserve it.
Do it. And come to the Patreon, patreon.com/riftologist. You get weekly bonus content. And more, really, and more. Madeline, what's coming up on the Lizard Review that everybody can look forward to in the next month or so?
Ooh, well, it is, as we all know, fall. It's officially fall. By the time you're watching this, it is fall. August is over. Kiss that solitaire goodbye. Because we're talking Red. We're talking Evermore. We're talking whatever we want to talk about that's fall coded. I don't know. Football season is starting. What do you think that means? What do you think I have to sit my ass down and do?
Taylor Swift at the football game.
Well, not only that, but also the alchemy lyrical analysis. I mean, I'm hitting the hammer on the head. Also VMAs.
Well, yes.
We're going to be doing lots of VMA stuff as well. So lots coming up. Also Halsey moving. That's also going to be on the Lizard Review. Hello. Everything's
Katy Perry
on the
flopping.
Review. Katy Perry
That'll
flopping.
be there.
That's imminent. Very imminent. Hello.
Very soon.
Everything that you
it's
want
the
to hear
best
about.
music podcast in the world, girls.
It
Lizardreview.substack.com
is.
or on podcasts wherever you get it. You better listen. And you better
could be
subscribe
listening
to
right now.
Swiftologist, the Snake Cable News Network.
No, we're taking over the world.
We are. And
pretty soon you're not going to need
CNN.
Yep. Pretty soon you're not going to need real news.
Snake
This is all
NN.
you need. Snake NN. Snake
We'll
NN.
be telling
Tune
you
in.
soon things. Well,
Soon things.
goodbye, divas.
Goodbye. Goodbye.